All right, let's begin. How we doing today, gentlemen?
Mr.
Good, thank you,
McClanahan.
Eric.
Good to see you both. We're talking about the film Preschool. I'm going to start with Josh as the director and co-star. Um, we last spoke when you were doing London Calling, and here you are back in England. Tell me about the decision to move the film to England.
It was the truth is England's got an amazing incentive plan right now. Yeah, they really do. Whenever you're making a movie, you try to do it at what is the most cost effective. If it isn't specific to one spot. So this script was originally written for Malibu, this new age sort of progressive preschool in Malibu. Um, But of course, we can't shoot in California anymore because it's just outrageously expensive, unfortunately. I'd love to be able to work at home. But so we looked all around and London was the most cost effective. And I was like, that's perfect. All we have to do is change the school to like this old 400-year-old institution that's been there forever. And it worked actually works better than it would have in Malibu. And so it just took some minor tweaking to the script. I got an amazing, there's no shortage of talent in the UK. And so I got Michael and I got Antonia and I got Charity and I got James Cosmo and Fenella Wood. It's just like it goes on. Even the day players were just fantastic actors. So it's one of those things that really worked out for the best. It was one of those happy accidents, I guess.
Very much so. Let's talk about bringing Michael on board. Michael, your character really helps to embody the fact that this film is more of a class system breakdown than it is, a message about fathers and parenting. We see class division, we see um, the institutions of, again, really, really old institutions that date back 400 years, and old money and new money. Tell me about bringing that character to life in the middle of that.
I think Brian's under the illusion that maybe if he was from an apparent better class, that his life would be so much better. He'd have all the gifts and trinkets that being somebody upper class would give you. But really, it don't matter, does it? Because whether you're there, upper class, middle class, working class, whatever class you are, it's all about happiness in it and what's right for your children. Um, because even people who are upper class have problems too. So I think it's just I just think for Brian, he's just quite. I think he's delusional, isn't he? He just thinks that get me to get my kids surrounded by upper class people, and maybe that'll be the key to everything. Whereas that's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, just bring them to the green grass, and
True.
everything will grow around them.
Yes.
Uh,
The grass is always greener.
Yeah.
exactly. Uh, Josh, let's talk about the physicality of this film. For a comedy, you guys put each other through the thresher. There's a lot of physical set pieces. As an actor and director, I'm sure that was a lot to juggle. Tell me about approaching that challenge.
Well, Michael took the brunt of that. Uh,
Yes, he did.
he was either eating what was it? What the those little pastries. He must have eaten
Oh,
15 of those, and then we had him
but they were
drink.
lovely.
And
It was just on the cusp of making me sick. Just on the cusp, it was fine. The worst was that wine. It was the
yeah,
fake wine. That got me.
and then we had a thing where he has to guzzle a full glass of wine, and he does it take after take. I was like, this poor guy's gonna hate me when we're done with this movie. But what a trooper, man. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a physical movie. I think that, you know, that's part of the fun of this. I love the physicality of making movies. As part of the reason why I got into this business in the first place was to, I mean, I'm not Tom Cruise. I don't do my own stunts, but I do what I can if I can do it without, uh, costing the production that much more money in insurance. I'm happy to do it. And again, that's part of the fun of making a movie is getting down and dirty.
Yeah. Oh, well, Michael, let's talk about the prosthetic of the face effect for the third act. What was that process like? Like, how long did that take?
I can't really remember, but I find I've had over the years I've had prosthetics a few times, and I do find it really hard sitting still, and my head wanders, and I'm a bit jittery, and you know what I mean. It's luckily the makeup team, the special effects team, were just incredible and patient, um, and I think once that's on, like Josh was sort of like just say when I get out of the van, just say things, but because it's on, it sort of helps me sort of say it in a silly way. And that bit where he presses it, we had to get that in. I think when it comes to things like that, I just think they really benefit the work because there is a hindrance there naturally. So, and it pulled my eyeball down. Remember that? Pulled my eyelid down. Pulled me, do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? By the end
Again,
of the day, I'm like, it's very comfortable apart from this bit here.
is it going to stay like that?
Is that is that forever? This thing here like that? Is that forever?
Be a great story to tell at the pub, though. What happened to your eye? Was in a movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
right.
I think we have time for one more question, and this was going to be for Josh again. The children's show within the film was in the script, but how much of you is in the actual like the way the show works, the characters in the show? Because I know with a 2-year old, you're probably watching the most mind-numbing shit, and this is your chance to really lampoon it.
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to put it because the truth is, until you're in the trenches of actually like prepping for the movie, it's like we have to come up with it's the wild and crazy are there, but who are the wild and crazies and how do we make them as uh, you know, because I'll watch some of the you're right. Some of these things that I'll watch, like it's mind numbing to watch some of these kids shows, but they're also creepy. So I wanted some of these shows are very creepy. So I wanted to sort of bring that creepy element into it, and and I wanted, I didn't want just okay. There's an elephant, there's a bear, there's a lion, and there's a monkey. I was like, let's make the monkey like a Mick Jagger. He wanted to be a rock star, needed extra money, auditioned for this gig, and it blew up. And now he's been this monkey for years, and he hates it, but it's good money. And the rest of them are like, behind the scenes, what are they like? Do we go to their green room and you sort of get hot boxed with, the smoke? Do they drink too? There's all these things that we wanted to sort of hint to without hitting too hard because it is a family movie. So there was a lot of thought, even the prosthetics that we had them put on, even that should feel a little bit like, ooh, this is the kids like this, but this is not this makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a little suggestive.
So that was the whole idea. And the
Nice. All right.
song, we literally sat with my buddy the night before and said, we got to come up with a song. And and I want it to be about, you know, uh, cleanliness and bodily functions and how do we do this in a polite way. And so the kids love it because the monkey farts, but they still have to teach some kind of lesson like these shows try to do. So a lot of thought
Nice.
is the short way to answer your question.
All right. Well, that is our time. Thank you guys so much. I know the film comes out digitally tomorrow, so I wish you guys the best of luck and thank you for talking to me.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Eric.
All right. Take care.